Let me start my video. She's way
We're,
ahead of me.
we're dual recording here.
Yes, absolutely.
Hi, everybody from Community Recovery, Mama Bear, and Sarah Rice. She's going to interview me today, ask me some questions. You're doing this for a school project or personal project?
Just personal to share for everybody. So God kind of, lit a flame inside, and here we go. We're just
awesome. And I have been wanting to share my story with people, and so I think it's awesome that I get to step back and to let you just ask me questions, because I want to share my heart with you guys. I want you to know why Mama Bear does what Mama Bear does, and why God called me here, and why I'm exactly where God wants me to be. So I'm excited.
Yes. So my thing is I kind of wanted to get an idea, just various points of views of people, because I feel like we're missing that, in society. Just, hey, what's your point of view? What's your life like? Just empathizing with other people, and like you said, why you do what you do. And I'm hoping that through this, people will be like, oh, okay, that's why she does XYZ, or that's why she gives all her time and heart. So I know when we first met, you have a life coach certification, so that kind of helps in you're kind of a multifaceted, which I guess why Mama Bear happens to work the best. So I'm kind of coming to you and asking you, like, why you do what you do. And first and foremost, I know I heard the story, maybe some others have heard the story, but why Mama Bear? And it has stuck, and I think that's just awesome.
Mama Bear because God, first and foremost, and I'm humbled to be called Mama Bear. My whole entire life, I knew that I had the calling to be a mom. I felt it as a small child. I knew it in my teenage years. I even knew that I wanted to be a mom by a certain age. And some people want to be rock stars, some people want to be actresses or doctors or lawyers. For me, I just wanted to be a mom. And when it didn't happen for me, and when I was told the only way it would happen is if I went through medical procedure after medical procedure, I decided that was not the avenue that I wanted to go. I became depressed. I was really anxious. There was a period in my life where I didn't even go outside for 7 months. It caused a lot of turmoil in me. And eventually I moved forward with some life coaching, actually. And I know, funny, God's planting seeds along the way. I met my husband, and he had a daughter, and she needed a Mama Bear. And she started off by calling me Sarah Bear. Sarah's my actual name. And I just thought it was cute. And then it turned into Mama Bear once he asked me to marry him. And that was my favorite thing to ever be called. My husband compared my heart to the heart of Mother Teresa. And I didn't know a lot about Mother Teresa. I didn't know a lot about who she was or what she stood for. I just knew of her. And so through this, I was doing research, and I found myself bawling, like all the way through everything I was learning. She had the most beautiful heart, and the fact that she wanted to be in the streets helping people that were suffering over her own comfortable lifestyle, like that was just so beautiful to me. And I guess I've tried to give to everybody around me most of my life, my time, my energy. I've given money, I've given rides, I've gone above and beyond what people, they would make fun of me and not appreciate that. And so along this path, I've been learning about how to give with compassion and always give forgiveness. And it just was a beautiful thing to be compared to her. And I was talking with Pastor Mark one day, and he gave me the compliment that I am like Mother Teresa to CR, to community recovery. And again, I'm just so humbled by this comparison. And I told him when I came back that I wanted to be known as Mama Bear. That's what God had placed on my heart. That was my favorite thing to be called ever. It was an easy way for me to come in with such a loving and compassionate heart with a clear boundary, because I am happily married. I have a very wonderful family. I just have a heart to love, and people that don't understand love, sometimes that boundary can be easily confused.
Mhm.
And so I fell in love with Mama Bear, and everybody's fallen in love with me so far. And I'm, again, just walking God's path. I just want to help other people. I just want to see people succeed. And I've learned that people in pain will continue to cause more pain. And this world is suffering enough. I don't want to see that anymore. I want to take care of people's needs if I can, and I want to help others.
And what I think is interesting about that is being Mama Bear, and I think a lot of people have to understand is you're loving and you're kind and you talk about boundaries, and it doesn't mean that, ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't mean that Mama Bears can make like wave a wand. That doesn't mean that she can magically make things happen. That doesn't mean she's going to make everything happen for you. And sometimes that means that, you know, you may have to be strict. You may have to, you know, help people with, you know, step A, step B, step C.
The bear part of me.
So, but I've seen her around community recovery, and I know that people do come to you, and that's a blessing. And I desperately want people to understand that you are full of love, and it really is the role of a mama. Like sometimes mama, like God, sometimes our daddy has to, you know, maybe say things we don't want to hear, or maybe set limits. And so I think that's so interesting to you, and that you have just I don't know, I get a kick out of it that it has actually stuck and people see it as a respect, because I know for me it was like, oh, that's cute, Mama Bear, and then of course you get to know her and it's like, nope, Mama takes care of business, but yes, Mama will give you the hugs and love when you need it.
You know, I'm very much about people being accountable and responsible. I did not have an easy childhood. I actually went through a lot of abuse in my life. And so through that, I had to understand the balance of discipline with respect, discipline with love. I've felt repressed or pushed down instead of empowered and pushed forward. And so I don't want people to feel that way. So it's hard for me. I don't like putting boundaries in place. I don't like to have to be the mama bear, the firm bear. But I also don't like people who come with an attitude of greed, like entitlement. That's not okay with me. You need to have a heart of Jesus, the sacred heart, and to be grateful, have gratitude for everything that you get, because without God, we'd have nothing. And if you walk around saying, give me more, I want this, and you take and throw, and you don't really value and appreciate the things you have, then you're never going to have personal growth. You're never going to be accountable. You're never going to advance to the next level of what God wants for you. And so I try to bring that here. We've had a few incidences at Community Recovery where I had to get up on the stage and remind everybody that we have structure for a reason. We have to keep people safe. We have to keep our team safe. We have to keep our guests safe. And it's really important to each and every one of us. You know, we have a PSR team, our public safety responders. We do everything in our power to keep everybody safe. And so I think the Mama Bear aspect just kind of brings another foundation of that support.
Makes sense. I never thought of it that way. I like that. So, you have life coach certification. What's the difference? What does that ever expire? Does that continuous? Do you use it continuously? That's for my own knowledge more than you guys.
No worries. You know, I'd always dreamed about being a life coach. I guess I didn't really know why I wanted to get certified, and I was talking to another healer, and she told me that it was for myself. It was so that I could have that self-confidence, so that I could have the certificate. To my knowledge, it does not expire because you're actually not, they're not required in the state of Michigan for the certification. I really did it more for my own benefit because I do struggle with learning out of a book and learning in a classroom. That's not my strength. My strength is to love. And so for me to overcome some of my own personal barriers, if you will, it gave me a lot of strength because I knew in my heart that I could life coach, but coming up side by side to somebody like you who's going to school as a counselor, like I would not want to disrespect you by calling myself a life coach without having this certification.
Mm-hmm. And again, another personal thing for me. What I like is you have always been respectful of, you know, you can life coach. I'm not gonna lie. Like the mama bear, the life coaching, the heavens to Betsy right there. Being a sponsor is definitely in your realm. And I like how God has blessed you with, okay, this maybe you need to go see one of our counselors and knowing that, okay, that's not my realm. Or even like when we've given you information, you're like, oh, I've never thought of that, that way. So I would love for anybody that is definitely in that position, as I say that like it's bad, but to have that, like you have, you're humble enough to say, how can we work together? And you have your strong suits, and people definitely gravitate towards that. And then you recognize, like, oh, hey, maybe they need Pastor Mark and Pastor Greg, or maybe they do need me. Maybe they need a counselor. So I'm just wondering, how on earth do you get from, the childhood aspect to being this point? Like, I mean, are there times that you're still struggling and hurting and like can't even get out of bed still? Or I mean, how do you get from that point to this point?
That's a whole lot of questions.
Yeah, but I mean,
okay, so I guess
in a nutshell.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I firmly believe we accept the love that we think we deserve. And for my whole life, I would run to the people that would continuously hurt me. And that's the love that I thought that I deserved. And when I went through my divorce, I married a man that was exactly like my stepdad. Both of them hurt me very badly. And when I left him and moved across the state, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. I was suicidal. I was at my end. I didn't know what to do. And, it was really a fork in the road for me, if you will, because I could see that I could choose addiction. I could choose God. I could choose to fight for myself. I could check out. I had this buffet of choices in front of me. I could see all these different avenues.
Wow.
And at the end of the avenues, what I saw was death. What I saw was suffering. And what I saw was giving other people hope by telling my story. And, we don't have a lot of loving people on this planet. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean that in a way as a lot of the people who have hearts like mine, hearts like yours, have been hurt so bad in their lives that they would rather not. They just don't want to get involved. They don't want to look. They don't want to be part of it. And I was that way too. For a long time, I tried to shut down and I tried to not get involved. My husband often will tell me that I run into the bee's nest without thinking about getting stung, that I just run in there to help people. And I agree with that. I do. I don't think things completely through about my safety. I'm getting better because I have a lot of support around me, but I just want to help people if I can, if it's within my realm. Working with Pastor Greg and Pastor Mark has really helped my growth. Greg says, you're about to get stretched by God, and he was not wrong. But what I realized is when I hit pain, or if I hit depression, or if I hit anxiety, or if I hit some form of something to slow me down, what I realize is that I'm at a boundary limit and that I can't do anymore. So if I'm sitting with someone and I'm showing them compassion, I'm showing them mercy and grace, and then all of a sudden I start to feel overwhelmed by them, or I feel overwhelmed by their situation or whatever, then I stop and I think, and I'm like, okay, I'm not the best person to help them, but I know that you can, or I know Megan can, or I know that Pastor Greg can, or Pastor Mark, or Pastor Lou, or whoever. And then I redirect them to someone that can help them more than I can. It doesn't mean that I'm going to walk away from them, because I'm still connected to them. I still care about them. I still want to be involved in their recovery. It just means that it's going to take the whole community of people that surrounds us to help this person grow to the next level. And I think that once I was able to humble myself to realize that it's not my job to save everybody. That's why we need Jesus. And if I get to a person that's pushed me to my limits, I mean, you've seen me running around helping 20 people at one time. Right. And that's a lot. It's so much. Sometimes I feel like a mom with a bunch of toddlers, and they all are pulling at my clothes, and I have to stay centered in Jesus. And I was talking to my daughter about a situation that we were having that was a personal one where we were both struggling, and she gave me the most beautiful words. She said, "Mom, it's a good thing for them that we know Jesus."
Oh, amen.
And
That's so
it blew my mind. I was like, yes, that.
Yes.
Because we give grace and forgiveness and compassion, and that doesn't make us weak. And you know, one of my favorite things to challenge people, because there's hustlers in this world, there's manipulators, there's narcissists, there's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But when you can see all of that, and you can still give compassion and grace, and you can still show love to everybody, and you can still be kind, that is the true challenge. Because anybody on this planet can be mean. Anybody on this planet can be a bully and can be racist and be judgmental and be hurtful. But it only takes special people to be kind. It takes truly genuine souls to show love and compassion and understanding. Not everybody can do it. So I challenge people all the time. You think you can be kind? You think you can be loving? You think you can be a mama bear? Come on, let's see what you got, because we need more of you.
Yes.
We need more of me.
Yes.
We need more of her.
Yeah.
So challenge accepted. Come on, what you got?
I like the fact that, you know, when you talked about knowing your boundaries and being mindful of that I think somebody that was maybe a few steps back in your path would have hit that boundary and felt like not good enough or ashamed, like, oh, I can't keep up with the race. I can't do this. Whereas now I definitely feel like it's more of a, okay, you know, this is not bad. I know my limits. I know what God is saying. Enough. Just pause for a moment so I think it's nice to know that you can get to that point.
Amen.
You can get to that point, and it's a struggle. And I always say, you know, I've told the individuals here, I said, you're not done. I mean, and considering where you started to where you are now, I mean, I'm sure that you want to shout it from the rooftop, like, you're not done. There's so much more that, you know, God has planned for you. So I like that you're able to be mindful and know when, you know, I'm not a failure.
It took me a long time for self-acceptance. It took me a long time to not compete. We are in a world where competition is number one. We compete in sports. We compete in the stores when it comes to shopping, finding the best deal. We compete over who's the best cook, who's the best parent, who's the best A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Everything is a competition.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not competing. I'm empowering. If you're a good mama bear, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for stepping up. If you're a good cook, please show me, because I am horrible at it. If you're
Really? I would have never thought that.
I like to bake. I do not like kitchen time. No, thank you. My husband is the chef in our home.
Oh. Well, I noticed that back here, somebody has some goodies to share.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to, you know, learning about this.
So when I first came back, God placed it on my heart to start our Women's Craft Day. And so we invited all the ladies from Community Recovery, from the community, from other churches, other organizations to join us. And we get together and we listen to good music, and we have good food, and we create. I've learned in my path that the opposite of dis-ease, is to create. And so we spend a lot of time here at Community Recovery on recovery. But I wanted to pour some attention into the creative aspect so that we can build people and create and help them understand where their gifts and talents are. So these back here are some vision boards that we've made on our first time together. The one here on the right is an I am board. And basically what I did was write I am, and then I found words in magazines that I could cut out that described who I was.
I gotta bring that, because you gotta be able to see it. And it seems like it's something that's so, like, I think people out there are gonna think, oh, that's corny, and, you know, oh, cutting words out of a magazine. No, I'm telling you, actually saying this stuff to yourself makes a difference. The more that you tell yourself, I'm loved by God, I'm special, I'm smart, I'm good looking, actually does something. So this is not a joke. This is something serious.
And you know, one thing I teach the girls is that How would you talk to your best friend? How would you talk to your daughter? How would you talk to God? That's how you should be talking to yourself. And if you're claiming, I am worthless, I am a failure, then yes, that's what you're going to be. But if you claim, I am inspiration, I am a mother, I am confident, I am secure, I am smarter, faster, and better, then these are going to be the things that you strive to become. And you might not be there yet, but claiming them and having the awareness that you can be, that you are on your way, that you're learning and growing, we're all learning and growing together, is empowering. I know, and we have a couple other ones. This one on Friday and Mondays, I hand out, I call them Sunshine. And basically what they are is just little quotes that, sorry guys, my battery is dying here. But anyways, little quotes about motivation that I can hand out to people that live on the streets, people that live in recovery homes, people that are struggling and hurting. And they're just little quotes. Like last Friday I handed one out. It was by Dr. Seuss, and it said, sometimes we don't understand or fully appreciate a moment until it becomes a memory. And that is so powerful.
I love that.
Yes. And it's just these little things I call sunshine. So I give them something positive to think about every Monday and every Friday at Community Recovery, because we live in a world where we aren't enough, where we aren't good enough, where we're not fast enough, where we're competing, and there is no competition. So that's what this board is. It's just a little bit of sunshine. And then the one over here on the left is visions of what I want to create in my life. I want self-love. I want more God. I have a control. I want things to be my way a lot of times, and so I have to learn to let God lead. Quality time with myself, quality time with others, eating better food, remembering that I'm always healing and being okay with letting myself heal. Just having happy and healthy pets. I have this thing that we call my idea face. I laugh because my husband named it that. I will be like, oh my gosh, I have this great idea. And sometimes my ideas are awesome. And sometimes we tease that my ideas need punched. Nope, that's not a good idea, Mom Bear. No, no, no. And so I like to have vision boards to help me see what I want to bring alive. And then I have a few little trinkets here that I wanted to show you guys. This right here is really special to me. I don't know if you guys can see this, but these are the first time when I came to Community Recovery was August 8th of 2014. That's the first time I stepped through the doors. And the first time I came here, they told me, if you come once, that's great. If you come more than that, it's even better. We're just glad you're here. And I had never in my life ever been accepted or welcomed in any place ever such as that. And I earned my first chip, my 30-day chip, my 60-day chip, my 90-day chip. And these mean everything to me. I've held on to these all of these years, and they help remind me of the struggle and what I've overcome in my life and why it's important not to give up. And I hang them in my office on Jesus's hand, because I came to Community Recovery after I witnessed a shooting. It happened right in front of my home, and I felt like that was God and the devil at war for me, and I could have chose either path. I could have chose to represent God and come forward and be the mama bear that He created me to be, or I could have ran and hid and stayed small like the devil wanted me to continue to fear and to continue to hide and to continue not to be part of the solution. And I chose to come, and I will treasure these chips forever as my welcome home to the family that I've always wanted. This is a little sign that my husband made for me, and this truly represents who I am. As Mama Bear, I got this for Mother's Day because I am mom to the world. And so my husband, this is what he treasures about me, that I uplift those that are broken. I treasure those that are neglected, and I mother those that are lost. And this is so special to me that he would hand burn this with the sun and then stain it and spend time doing this, because that's who he sees me in God's world. And It helps me to continue. And then this, I wanted to just show, because you guys know that we've been collecting hand warmers for those people that are living outside in the freezing cold. And I have had an abundance of these turned into us, and we have been blessing people like crazy with them. And we can't do this alone. So I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you. Thank you to everyone.
Yay.
I know. This is Grandma Nancy. Grandma Nancy is the grandma who started the Praying Grandmas. And she wanted to get involved in community recovery, and she did not know how. She had a walker, and she was just very precious, you know. She needed help in the building and out of the building, and she wanted to be part of it. God kept placing it on her heart, and she didn't know how. And so she created the Praying Grandmas so that people can come and pray with the people who need prayers the most. And she was a spiritual mother to me. She poured so much love and wisdom into me. And we have she has since passed, rest in peace, but she gave me this clock before she passed, and it sings This Little Light of Mine every hour on the hour. And so in our house, every time it goes off, we send love to Grandma Nancy. And so she lives on in our family, and she inspires me even still today. I keep her in my office too, so I can remember.
Oh,
I know. This is just a cute little craft that somebody made me at the craft day for the Mama Bear, and I just wanted to show it off because I love when people give me little gifts.
that's so cute.
I know, isn't it precious? And the girl that made this, you know, she currently lives in a tent, and she is really struggling, and to give her a reason to feel loved was beautiful to me.
Oh.
This is a card that I received from someone that was incarcerated. I asked him to draw a bear that represented Mama Bear, and this is what he gave me. And I just think it's the cutest little thing ever.
I do too. Wait a minute, so that means that those who are incarcerated are actually worth talking to and receiving stuff from? Weird.
I know.
Now, can I go to the
Yes, she has to go to the bathroom, so I have to end my video. But I have appreciated getting to know you. I've appreciated sitting down with you. I'm always wanted to pull you aside and gaggle with you, because I'm sure that our ideas could fill up a room. Good or bad.
Sometimes the idea face needs punched.
But I think it's an example, and another reason why I wanted to interview you is that, you know, what does empathy look like? What does grace look like? There's so many more, you know, things that we could go on and on talking about grace and talking about empathy and talking about reaching out to people. And I mean, just imagine for a moment, and you get told this when you're a kid, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. When you're going to say something that could be hurtful, could be perceived as hurtful, I'm just urging people just to put yourself in their shoes. What would it do to you if somebody said that stuff to you? So I'm so appreciative of your time, and I'm excited to see how community recovery, that's right, community recovery, everybody get a chance to come. Recovery means so many vast things, so thank you very much for your time.
Of course, thank you for having me. One little shout out before we go. If you want to get involved in community recovery and you don't know how, reach out to me, message me, Key Mama Banksy on Facebook. Look us up on Community Recovery International on Facebook. We're on YouTube, Community Recovery International, making these videos.
There's no excuse.
Get involved. You can just simply hand out flyers. You can donate your time. You can donate money. You can donate cookies. You can donate food. You can donate your clothing that you don't want to get rid of. We take everything. We help those that are struggling and in need, and we can't do it alone. So God bless you as you listen to what He's placing on your heart, as He's calling you to lead with love. We're just asking you to listen. What is God asking of you? Is He telling you to get involved? And why are you holding back? There's no more time to hold back. People need help. The only way to stop pain is to get involved, to love our brothers and sisters as we are called to love. I just want you to think about that. I know that if I didn't have loving supports around me, I wouldn't be able to be Mama Bear today. And I know there's plenty of people out there just like me. So if you're struggling and need support, please come check us out Mondays, Friday nights, 6 o'clock. We feed you a hot meal. Then we have a worship service where we sing together and we hear an awesome speaker who brings a powerful message week after week. And then we go to support groups where we can talk one-on-one and we can have growth. There's so many ways you can get involved. If you want to volunteer, if you want to help out, we'd love to have you. Come check out our program. Mama Bear loves each and every one of you. Thank you.